Hi, Melissa here. Yeah, so I just woke up, not too long ago, and I'm kind of shy on the camera, as you know. And excuse the face hurries because a hobo decided to rub himself all over my face when I was sitting on a bench. But other than that, I am irritated because a movie I was really anticipated to see, which was Contact by StrIEber, apparently it does not go to the book at all. It's an abortion, and it wanted me to commit suicide while I was watching it. It was awful. Seriously. Okay, not only does it hardly follow the storyline, they leave out all the important shit. They leave out all the interesting parts, like the actual abduction sequences. Like, okay, it's like they thought, getting carried out by little gray creatures and on this cool thing and going up over the trees and talking to an alien wasn't good enough. No, they filled it in with boring talk filler, just kind of jumping around the story. And the son couldn't act. I mean, he was pretty stupid in this movie. And yeah, but the only good part is the part showed, I think it's on YouTube. Yeah, it's on YouTube, where it shows the alien peeking from behind the wall. That's pretty much the only good part. The rest of it from there is shit. It makes his wife look like a bitch. It makes him look like a jackass, because it starts out with him talking to himself with a mask or some weird shit like that. Oh my god. The thing they put the most emphasis on is the anal probe scene, which kind of came off as like some psychological porno, a bad psychological porno, where they lay him down and there's this fog machine. Oh, and did I mention the little gray men don't look like little aliens at all? They look like badly made goblins. They're like dark green, and they have blowjob faces, and one of them even sucks like a blowjob. It just it's awful. Anyway, this blowjob, I don't have anything to edit this with, so I'm just going off. Okay, so the anal probe scene. It's just this, it looks like a fire hose that comes out of the wall, and they probe him, and he's like grunting, and then they're like just touching him, and he starts making out with them, when in reality, he thought he was being raped. This is what he said. He was pissed off because he thought he was being raped, and he thought his, the tall alien, the tannish one, was a female. And there was actually a lot of emotional shit going on between those two. Like, she would talk to him and help him feel better and stuff like that. And they totally left that out. Everything significant they left out. And that really pissed me off. And they kept showing her, but they made her look like some wavy little Muppet creature. And then at the end, they take off... He, like, splits the head in half, and there's this green thing under it. I don't know. But it like, has his wife bitching at him all the time. And, she wasn't a bitch, okay? She was actually very supportive of him. And, well, let me remember now. She didn't think he needed therapy when asked. He actually went to, if I remember correctly, someone else who had encounters and talked to him first and got a referral to a psychiatrist or whatever the hell from him. That's what happened. He didn't just randomly go to a psychiatrist and all that shit because his wife told him to. And, and the scene, that anal probe scene was just so bad. I mean, I was embarrassed to watch this movie. It was so bad. If I were Whitley, I would sue that fucking company. It's like he signed the contract and then they nulled it and said, oh, we're going to do something else and just call it Contact, but we're going to base it on what you said. Only we're going to make you look like a nut job and make your wife look like an idiot and make aliens look terrible. I mean, green goblins? I wasn't watching Lord of the Rings, okay? I mean, he even talks about a white short alien with big bug eyes. These guys weren't anything close to that. They were like short little gremlins in cloaks, and he only mentioned like a hooded one time or a couple times, but they weren't all like that. And and the ending where he goes back and he's like, I'm real, you're the dream. That guy in the tuxedo, I didn't get that part either. That was really fucked up. That wasn't in the original. In the original, at the end, he wanted some clarity to see if they were real, and he wanted to see him again. His son's friend saw a saucer, and then I think later that night, some of the little dudes came in, and then a tall one came in, and it was wearing like this mock suit. And if this is what they got from that, it sounds like a bad acid trip. It's like they had a bad acid trip, but they thought, oh, this would be cooler than an actual abduction story. And really, it just... and the bugs he sees on the bus, I don't know. There was a part where he gets abducted supposedly when he was a kid, which was on a train. And if they got that from that scene, I have nothing to say, okay? I'm not even, like, a professional trained movie maker. I could have written a better screenplay, and I just read this once so far. So, it's just bad. It's horrible. It's just junk. It made me want to rip my eyes out, bleach them. I mean, actually getting abducted and getting probed and drilled in the head would be better than watching this piece of shit again. That was another thing. When they drilled his head, they didn't drill his head. The guardian, the one he refers to as a female, talks to him, and, she's distracting him while the other one gives him the surgery, and the surgery is just this long, hair-thin needle, and all I felt was a thump, like a bang. That was it, and it was over. And, oh, Jesus Christ. It's just so bad. And, I thought I'd be more angry when talking about this, but it's so asinine that I can't stop laughing. There's other shit on there, too, that I wanted to bitch about, but I can't even remember. It's like my brain is deliberately blocking it out. It's just bad. It's really bad. And apparently the guy in the movie has an obsession with taping himself. And his son... I don't think his son was really scared of him. Scared of the aliens, because I don't know. And the part where they're talking about haikus and shit would make a lot more sense if they actually showed the alien, so you actually knew why they saw it that way. It's just junk. They skip all the good parts, and it's terrible. And it embarrassed me, and I felt ashamed for watching it. And whoever made this movie, I really hope you're doing better now. And I'm actually glad I read the book first and then saw the movie, because if I saw the movie first, I wouldn't have actually read the book, because it's so crappy. I mean, it's like nothing. I'd probably hate aliens or just think they were dumb, like, I'm not gonna say anything specific because I don't really want to offend anybody in the sci-fi community, but, I mean, if you're an alien lover or a sci-fi lover, period, I mean, you'd see why this movie is just awful. It looked like a bad music video from, like, the 80s, maybe. This was an 80s movie. It was 1989. But this was a year before Space Invaders was made. So if Space Invaders could actually make real costumes that looked like they were real, why couldn't they just make a tall gray and short gray costume in this case? Why did they have to go, Oh, and another thing is later on, he's like naked again in the ship, and there's these children, and he's like talking to them, and they want their mom, and they reach out for the gray peach alien, which doesn't talk at all. And it looks like a puppet on a string. It's just like, woo, the whole time. And it's... and one of the goblin things, its head is there, like a mask, and it's the blowjobby lip one. And there's an alien mask there too, one of the gray alien masks. And the guy is all naked, and he puts on the gray mask, and I couldn't watch it anymore. Me and my friend, we were just skipping through it just to see what was going on, you know, like skip, shitty skip. And it was just terrible. Oh God, I'm like losing track, trying to think back. Yeah, he puts on the mask, and apparently they're his friends. Oh yeah, when he comes back on the ship before the stupid tuxedo guy who has his wife who looks all fucked up, the little gremlin guys are like shaking his hand and giving him cool signs and all this other stupid shit when they don't communicate that way. That doesn't happen either. So, yeah, and apparently at the end, they, I don't know, take him up again and come back, give him a chance to leave, but he just kind of says fuck you and goes back on the ship. That didn't happen either. So, I just saved you about 2 hours of bullshit. In fact, it takes about 50 minutes for them to even show an abduction. I'm like, finally, they're gonna show it right. Like this emotional part that you love so much in the book. And they didn't. I mean, in fact, you barely see the gray alien at all. It's just those green goblin things. And they make them creepy. When in the book he refers to them as the good army, I think it was. But, yeah, I keep losing my train of thought. I'm sorry. So, yeah. Shitty movie. Do not see Communion, the movie. I actually looked up The Greys, the movie, and his 2012 book, the movie. I couldn't find them. I don't think they're out yet. And I'm actually thankful for that. Because after seeing Communion, I wouldn't have wanted to read the book. So I'm glad I'm actually buying the books first. And the movie will come out later, I guess in 2012. Unless the 2012 movie we have is based off his, and I didn't watch that either. I mean, I couldn't get into it. It was stupid. You know, typical doomsday shit. So, yeah. Read the books. Read books, kids. It's good for you. Don't always rely on TV, because it's stupid. Really, it's fucking stupid. It's just bad. Watch Discovery Channel, but be careful, because sometimes on Discovery Health they have those mystery diagnose shows, and they're like, what do you think this person has? Text this for this and that, and it's like, you're betting on someone's pain. That's great. So, choose your shows wisely, and keep reading, because whatever possessed me to read this, I'm happy it did. So, yeah. Moral of the story is, movies are less than the books. And it sounds cliche, because it's true. Alright, that's all I have to say.